The village of Kwayani had always lived in the shadow of the river Nyoka. The river, winding like a serpent through the dense forest, had been a source of both life and fear for the villagers. They knew it as the giver of water but also as a place shrouded in ancient, terrifying mysteries. The village elder, Baba Django, often recounted the legend of the river Nyoka. It was said that the river was once home to a mighty serpent spirit. The spirit was angered by the greed of those who tried to exploit the river's resources without giving back to nature. The serpent cursed the river, and since then, those who ventured too close never returned. Sim, the brave older brother, and his younger sister Himesh, were fascinated by the stories of the river. Despite the warnings, they often discussed exploring the riverbank to uncover its secrets. Their friends warned them, but their curiosity only grew stronger. Over the years, several villagers had disappeared near the river, and no trace of them was ever found. The village was gripped with fear, and the once thriving relationship with the river turned into one of dread. Sim and Himesh, however, felt a strange pull toward it, as if it was calling them. One night, after hearing another story from Baba Django, Sim and Himesh decided they would uncover the truth about the river once and for all. They packed some food and a lantern and made their way to the edge of the forest, ready to embark on their forbidden journey. The forest was dense and dark, with only the light of the moon and their lantern guiding their way. The sounds of nocturnal animals filled the air, and the rustling of leaves seemed to whisper secrets as they moved deeper into the woods. Getting closer to the river. As they reached the riverbank, the water seemed to glow faintly, casting an eerie light on their surroundings. The river, which had always seemed peaceful from afar, now felt alive, as if something ancient and powerful was watching them. Sim felt a chill down his spine, but they pressed on. As they approached the water's edge, they heard faint whispers, like the murmur of voices carried on the wind. The water began to ripple unnaturally, and Himesh swore she saw shadows moving beneath the surface. They both stepped back, realizing the danger they were in. Just as they were about to retreat, they noticed something glimmering near the riverbank. It was a hidden cave entrance, partly concealed by vines and moss. Without thinking, Sim led the way toward it, feeling an irresistible urge to discover what lay inside. Inside the cave, they found an ancient stone altar, and coiled around it was the massive serpent spirit, just as the legend had described. Its eyes glowed with a fiery intensity, and its scales shimmered like water under moonlight. The siblings were frozen in fear as the serpent spoke in a voice that echoed through the cave. The serpent revealed that it had been cursed by the greed of humans, doomed to guard the river for eternity. It warned Sim and Himesh that the village would suffer a terrible fate if they continued to exploit the river's resources without honoring nature. The serpent offered them a choice: to return to their village and warn the others or face its wrath. Sim and Himesh, terrified and shaken by the serpent's words, fled the cave. As they ran through the forest, they could feel the serpent's presence behind them, urging them to hurry. The forest seemed to close in on them, but they managed to escape, vowing to heed the serpent's warning. When they returned to the village, Sim and Himesh immediately sought out Baba Django and the other elders. They recounted their harrowing experience, and the village was shocked into silence. Baba Django knew the serpent's warning could not be ignored, and the village council convened to decide their next steps. the villagers decided to honor the serpent spirit with a new covenant. They performed a ritual by the river, offering gifts and promising to respect the river and its surroundings. As they floated the offerings down the river, the waters seemed to calm, and the ominous presence that had haunted the village began to fade. After the ritual, the river's curse was lifted. The water flowed peacefully once more, and the village began to prosper. Sim and Himesh were hailed as heroes for their bravery, and the legend of the river Nyoka became a tale of caution and respect for nature. Sim and Himesh learned a valuable lesson that day: the power of nature and the importance of respecting it. They often sat by the riverbank, watching the sunset, grateful for the peace that had returned to their village. The story of their encounter with the serpent spirit would be told for generations, a reminder of the balance between humanity and the natural world.